right. Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Catch the Fuck Up. I don't even know where to start. Oh, also I'm Fern.
I was about to say, just start with your name. And I'm Nicole. And
Confusion. Lots of confusion. Oh God. There's some good moments though. This was an interesting chapter.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, also, hi everyone. This is chapter 347, the title of which is inflation. My God, we're forgetting everything. It's fine.
No, it's fine because this chapter is just like, I feel like I got dropped off of a roller coaster when it ended. So
it was so much
happened, and it's only 13 pages, which makes it a much a shorter chapter than usual. Anyway.
For real.
Okay. All right. So just dive right in. You open the app or the page or whatever, and the first thing you see is just a tidal wave of fingers.
I don't like it. Bum, 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 bum. Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I hate it. But it was hilarious because I opened the app and the first thing I saw was fingers, and my first instinct was not to continue to read, but to ping you and be like, oh no.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So there's a tidal wave of fingers from Shigaraki's body. Mm-hmm. And just as we read, he first attacks Bakugo, and he defends himself, obviously.
Well, he gets Mirko too. I think
he does. Yeah, he gets a couple of them, but like the first person you see is Katsuki getting attacked, and he's like, what the fuck is this?
Same. Full agreement.
Yep.
Oh,
like
God.
Yes, Katsuki, we agree. Okay. All right. So turning the page from the tidal wave of fingers, we get the reaction to the tidal wave of fingers. I'm not going to stop calling it that. So we pan back to Monoma, and there's a little asterisk note saying this is Monoma. I don't know why it was necessary, but I guess there was a lot more confusion.
Well, to be honest, when I first saw that panel, I thought it was Hawks. And I was a little confused. So I appreciated the asterisk because I was like, this could be anybody.
Okay. Well, I saw the hair, and then I saw the water around his eyes. So I was like, okay, this is Monoma. He's still doing
I would have figured it out from context, but yeah.
But it was like, okay, thank you for the little note. Appreciate it. Okay. So then basically he's still using erasure. The quirk is still active. So Edge Shot, he's there and he's like, it's not a quirk then. And then we go into the explanation, if you will, of the tidal wave of fingers. And again, it's not really clear who is talking about the fingers. I'm pretty sure it is one of Shigafo, but again, it's not clear if it's AFO or Shiggy.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that if it's normal text, that it's AFO, and that if it's I can't remember what that font is called, but if it's the funky looking font, then it's Shiggy.
Yeah, that's my assumption too. But again, it's not 100% clear. So that's just the assumption we are reading this under. So he is just explaining that his fingers are just growing in the same way that hair and nails do, which is it's not no. This is
bullshit.
This is no. Just no.
God.
So basically, moving aside from the fact that it is very much accelerated growth of all the parts that go into fingers, like bones and muscle and flesh, not just dead keratin for hair and nails. The fake science hurts a little bit, but I get it. It's not growing in the same way that quirks work on a genetic level. It's working on some other genetics. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Whatever. We'll accept it. Moving on.
whatever. So he goes on to explain that this is the new form that is required for bodies to be able to hold quirks as part of the singularity theory. As quirks just continue to get more and more powerful, apparently the human body must then become something beyond
must become a
human.
pile of fingers. Sure.
Yeah, you must become a tidal wave of fingers, literally. And then in the next page, the weird font comes back, so we can assume it's Shiggy talking. And he's like, you cannot possibly understand my tidal wave of fingers. Like, bro, I mean,
that's him.
Well, I mean, we can actually, we just don't like it. Okay. So after the fingers are explained and you get past the very gross detail of that panel, we go back to Mirko, who got hit by the explosive tidal wave of fingers, and she lost a couple of her prosthetics. So she gets some replacements, which is awesome. We love accommodations, I guess is the actual appropriate word, but she gets some replacements for her limbs. And then she turns around and she's like, Dynamite, get it together. And I had to reread that because I thought it said Dynamite, like his actual name, but it's Dynamite. And I'm like,
yeah, she calls him Dynamite.
Oh my God. That's his name.
Man.
That is now his canon name forevermore.
Their whole interaction is absolutely delightful and everything that everyone wanted. Like, this is exactly how we knew their interactions would go down.
And it is even better because it is so perfect. So in that moment, they're kind of like bitching at each other. Because Katsuki's like, that's not my name. And Mirko is like, blah, 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 blah. We have to keep going. And they have to get reined in by Best Jeanist, which
and then they both like turn on Best Jeanist together.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Oh my God. She's fully his angry older sister. I love this so much.
Yeah, I love it so much. She needs to adopt him. All right. So moving aside from that little lovely moment, we go to Aizawa and Monoma, who are like, what is going on? And Monoma is like, I swear I haven't done anything wrong. I'm still going. And Aizawa is like, I know, honey, it's okay. I know you're doing everything right. But he's just like, we can't fight the tidal wave of fingers. And then we get a shot of one of the pussycats. God, I forget her name. I'm so sorry, but it's the one who's a telepath.
Sure.
Yeah, well, it is. I just forget her hero name and I feel terrible. I'll figure it out.
Everything, so you're good.
Okay, well, she's the telepath, so I guess she's like working on the communications team. But she's basically saying Midoriya is making contact, so I think he's finally like gotten into his radio or whatever.
Okay, that makes more sense now because I was like, how does she know? I guess I just like assumed radio somehow, but yeah, no, telepath makes sense. Well, I remember now the camp thing. She does the telepath thing.
Yeah, she does the telepath thing, but I think they all have radio earpieces. So I think they've patched Midoriya into Aizawa.
Okay.
On the radio. But she's probably there to like pick out what's most important. So Midoriya, there's a lot happening. So Aizawa is like, Midoriya, where are you? And he explains that he's with Toga, obviously, and he's like requesting a warp because obviously he needs to be there to
Yeah, he's like, can you get me out of here, please? Like, let's go.
and everyone else is like, yeah, we need to get him here, but also we can't because Monoma's quirk basically only works by activating one copied quirk at a time. So even if he's copied up to 4 or however much his limit is, he still can only use one at a time. So
also, I love that Monoma took a whole last second to take another dig at class 1A once again.
Yep, that was great. And basically it's explained that if he were to activate a warp gate to get Izuku there, there's going to be like a 10-second gap in Erasure's effectiveness. So basically Erasure won't work for that time. And they're like, with these
hands,
tidal wave of fingers, basically if all of them are capable of activating Shigaraki's decay, then like they're done. Like we don't even know how much he would be able to decay with all of those fingers. So
because it would activate in all of them. So
in all of them. And we don't know how much, since we know his decay effect can now take out like an entire city just from one hand. What the decay would do from this tidal wave of fingers is just unimaginable, and they cannot risk that. So they cannot warp Midoriya to Sky High to take care of the tidal wave of fingers. This whole battle is utterly ridiculous. I love it, but it's stressful.
Oh,
all right. So we turn the page and they're like, okay, so Monoma keeps his erasure up as he needs to, and they're all basically like, we have to fight until Midoriya can get here on his own. We cannot risk the tidal wave of fingers becoming even more of a problem. So they all like go, okay, we can fight until Midoriya gets here. So I turn the page and you get this lovely little break where we are talking about Okuto Island, which is where the aquarium is. And you get this lovely little exposition dump where they're explaining what the island is and like why there's a connection to it. And apparently, along with being a badass mafia-esque pro hero, Gong Orca,
whole ass daddy of a man.
Yep. Oh my God, he's so hot, but he's also like the director of an aquarium. And just like, we're just going to take a moment to appreciate how perfect this man is. And like the fact that he's a science nerd on top of it, just like he just
invested in his local community. Yeah.
And like, oh, he just shot up the husband rankings. I love him, but now is not the time. We can appreciate that later. So you turn the page and the Nomus are attacking, and we get one particular Nomu who's like really gross. I kind of appreciate it because it's basically a torso and a rib cage and a brain with a mouth. I love it.
It's a brain with teeth.
Yep. It's full on just body horror. And I particularly love that one. I don't know why. I think
that's less disturbing than the tidal wave of fingers.
Definitely. Somehow. And like somehow this like all of My Hero is like moving me into being more of a fan of body horror, which I don't know how to take. But anyway, the Nomu is like attacking, and the pro heroes on the scene are like, the fuck, did he get even more upgrades? Which like, yeah, obviously.
Yep, of course.
And then you turn the page and I was like, oh, good. Moonfish is back. Great.
They brought back fucking Moonfish.
And like, if y'all don't remember Moonfish, it's fine because it was a while ago, but basically Moonfish was one of the villains that the League brought to the camp to attack the classes. And he was beaten, I think, by Tokoyami when he was in Hulk mode or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so he's one of the convicts who escaped a few arcs ago. Great, awesome. So here we have the panel is a little hard to see, but we have a few pro heroes there, and we have the return of Siren. I think her name is. Yeah, I think is it Siren or Sirius? Anyway, one of those. It's the sailor hero that Froppy did her internships with, like with Selkie. Anyway,
yeah, I don't see their boss though, the seal guy.
Yeah, I don't see Selkie, which I mean I'm assuming he's there, but I don't see him, which is fine.
Yeah.
But basically there was a shockwave that happened that knocked Izuku and Uraraka away from like the main group of heroes. So now Izuku and Uraraka are kind of off on their own in the fight. And they're like, and basically they confirm with each other that Izuku has to get back to Sky High, for lack of a better word, on his own. But then before they can try and make a plan, we have Toga attacking. We have a gross shonen inclusion that I don't even want
just
to talk
glossing
about.
Over it. I'm not even gonna. Yep,
we're not talking about it. We're ignoring it. But basically, Toga like zooms at Izuku, and he's like, "No, you can't leave!" And she like tries to slash him with a knife. classic Toga.
Oh, classic Toga. Oh, darling.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming we're going to be at the Toga fight for at least like another chapter or two, but
we fucking better.
Yeah, basically the Toga fight is starting now that the Shigaraki fight has started, and they're like on the next step. So like we said before, it's probably going to bounce between the battles a little bit. All right.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're getting to this sooner rather than later, because I was having a lot of anxiety about it.
I agree. And also I feel vindicated because I think I mentioned at some point that I think Toga's battle is going to be one of the first that gets resolved, because they have to get Izuku back to Shigaraki and then to AFO. Anyway, that's beside the point. In the moment, she attacks Izuku with a knife and she's like, "Don't go, I love you." And it's like, okay, fine, we knew that. But in that moment, we have a panel with two of the previous One for All users / specters. I don't recall their names, of course, and it's still kind of
I thought it was just one of them.
No, I thought it was two, because one with the eye thing, and then there's another one.
Oh, I think it's the same guy. And like, this is the guy that used to have danger sense.
Okay. All right. Well, if that is the case, I will probably double check, because I need to.
That's what you do.
That's my neuroses. Yeah. But basically, this specter or specters is like shocked that danger sense is not working, even though Toga did in fact physically attack him. Like, she got a hit in with the knife or was close to it. But basically, danger sense is not activating for Toga's attacks. So, also in that moment, we have Uraraka trying to get to them and trying to stop Toga, because that's like her whole deal at this point. She's going to try and help or stop Toga.
Oh yeah, definitely a face-off between the two of them is coming.
Yeah, but basically Izuku is in the center, which I kind of love. It's kind of like a flip on the whole love triangle thing. Anyway. I know. Love triangles themselves are flawed, but I kind of like that it's not like full inversion or anything, but it's kind of like a twist, a flip.
I think my opinion will be decided on how this plays out. If it turns into like an Ochako versus Toga fighting over Izuku kind of a thing, then I'm going to be pissed.
I don't think that's what it will be, or at least I'm also hoping that won't be what it is. But basically, Toga is focused on Izuku in this moment, which is fine. We know she likes / loves both Izuku and Toga, but she's just focused on Izuku right now because she like wants to keep him here. And she also knows that he's supposed to be elsewhere. So I think that's where she is in the moment. But at some point, it's going to turn into a Toga Uraraka conflict that covers more of like Toga's whole character, rather than it being just a romantic rivalry thing. Hopefully. That's
what I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
Anyway, so you turn the page to the last page of the chapter, and everybody, it comes out of
There's
nowhere.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere, but also Toga's like, "I want you to be my boyfriend," and we're all like, now is not the time, ma'am. And that's where the chapter like ends, and it's just like, sir, ma'am, what? And then as the chapter ends, the like specters are figuring out why danger sense wasn't working, and how they're so shocked that Toga as a person like is still like alive or whatever.
Wait, you think see, I interpreted the narration as it's all being like Izuku.
It might be Izuku. I think he's like talking to the specters. So somebody's talking and basically figuring out why danger sense isn't working. And that is because she will physically attack you and stab you out of quote unquote genuine affection. And that's where the chapter ends.
Yeah.
So we have questions. We need Toga to very quickly go see a therapist, because we do not hurt the things we love. But that's her whole thing, because she has trauma and she was never like properly taught to cope and like there's a lot of things that we are not professionally able to pick apart because we are not therapists. But like, that's why danger sense isn't working. We like to pretend we are,
but we're technically not.
We are definitely not qualified to untangle whatever the fuck is going on in poor Himiko's mind. But basically, now as this fight continues, they cannot count on danger sense, at least not for Izuku. And I'm not sure if danger sense does or does not also work for other people, but basically
I don't think so, or at least we haven't seen it do so yet.
Yeah, exactly. So basically,
because like imagine if you're in a fight and your danger sense is peeing off not only for you but for the person you're fighting, like that would get really confusing.
That's true. Okay, so we can assume it's only going to work but now not work for Izuku, as I'm assuming the Toga fight continues in the next chapter. And I did refresh the app right before we got on here, and it says the next chapter is coming out in 5 days, which would make it like Friday or Saturday for us.
Oh goodness.
And I don't know if that's incorrect because here in America, we just had daylight savings time. So the clocks and the days are a little weird. But I think I did also see on Twitter, like, because there's a new volume coming out soon, the release days are a little weird. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
So we will do the next Catch the Fuck Up whenever it comes out, but it's not immediately clear when it is.
That out.
Yes.
That's inconvenient. Okay.
Yeah. We will get it to you, but we don't know when it's coming out. So therefore we don't know when we will get it out. It's weird. But anyway, for this chapter, any other thoughts than just confusion? Pickles is so mad at me. I accidentally left her out. So she's scratching on the door, but she's fine. Do you have any other thoughts?
I am having so many thoughts about what on earth they're going to do with Toga's character.
Right.
Like, obviously, like her arc is coming to a conclusion, but like what kind of conclusion? Because obviously I would like to see her redeemed in some sort, and then she and Ochako run off into the sunset together. Obviously, that's like my ideal. I sincerely doubt that's going to happen.
We could get something close to it because I mean Horikoshi has released official art of them like being sapphic. So like
being sapphic.
He like I feel like he wants something to happen with them, but he's also fighting the industry and the shonen stereotypes.
And also, like, he himself, he's not exactly blameless either. Like, he makes some iffy decisions.
Yes, and he makes those decisions because shonen has been so problematic. So they're, like, fully absorbed into him, and he has not faced them. So, like, in a completely ideal future, he will be facing them and fixing them with Toga, but also probably not, but we can hope.
Yeah, if she dies like some weird sexually charged death, I'm going to be extremely upset.
Yeah, we're going to be mad. We're going to have to do like a whole other thing with that, just ripping it apart because no, sir, we're not doing that anymore.
And then every other chapter would just be me being really angry.
Yep. So, well, we will see, I guess, in 5 days, however that translates across days and times. And time is weird, y'all. Like daylight savings has hit and we are going to be out of it for like the next week. And I'm also traveling next weekend.
I don't want it. I hate daylight savings time so much.
So much. And like I am traveling next weekend. So us recording was going to be more of a challenge than usual. So we will get the next one to you, but it's going to be fun. So just prepare yourselves for even more chaos. And that's all I have.
Same here. I think I'm finally done.
Okay. Do we have any thoughts as to where the other battles are going? Or are we just kind of in the moment? Like I'm perfectly
dumb gay brain is only worried about Toga right now.
That's true. Okay. Well, I'm worried about everyone else for you on your behalf, but honestly, I don't really have any specific thoughts that we haven't already voiced where we're going next. I think we're going to stay with Toga for the next chapter at least, and then we'll see where we go from there. So yeah.
Same.
We shall see.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. So thank y'all for listening, and we will not see y'all in 5-ish days, I guess. But in the meantime, go beyond, plus ultra, and catch the fuck up. Bye, y'all.
Bye.